I'd rather lose my business than my child. Learning comes in all kinds of forms, and by far my favorite forms of learning has always been watching my children grow. When I look at this photo, you can see on the right my son Michael when he was 4, dressed in Buzz Lightyear, action superhero, Toy Story. And on the left, that's me with my golden Labrador puppy named Buzz. When I look at this photo, I go back in time. And I remember what I learned that day. It was a nice sunny Sunday. We were in the garden having a nice barbecue when I heard some yelling and crying from inside the house. A very familiar sound back then. I knew exactly what was happening. A quick look around me to make sure that Buzz was not in the garden, and I conclude that he had once again jumped and bitten Michael's finger as he was passing by. What was unfamiliar that day was that the yelling and the crying stopped like immediately. And the next thing we see was Buzz running out of the house, being chased by Michael, holding a towel on his hand and dressed as Buzz Lightyear. Now, when you are 4 years old, Golden Labrador puppy is kind of big, because you're like that tall. When Michael came out of the house, he looked at me, and both of us knew that was going to be the last time Buzz will ever mistake his finger with chewing toys. You see, what I learned that day from Michael was that it's on you to decide to stay in a relationship or to stay in a situation that is not at your best interest, but that is also on you to decide to act on it so you can change this established order forever. This led me to the first quote I ever wrote. There is always an opportunity for an action that can change an established order forever. My name is Sunguza. I'm an entrepreneur in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Being an entrepreneur in an emerging country is all about learning to react and adapt to seemingly impossible situations. In an always changing economy, you end up, by running your business, you end up accumulating a lot of knowledge, a lot of savoir-faire, that when you group them together, you have like a mass of principles that become quickly your capital on how to run a business in difficult situation, in impossible situation. When you have that capital and approach retirement, it is logical that you start thinking about passing them over to your child. It's the right thing to do. It's logical, but I must say it's very uncommon to happen. You see, a quick look around me was all I needed to wake up from that fairy tale. Most of my friends are also entrepreneurs. They all have their business, but when I look at the history, they are very similar to mine. We all self-made businessmen. We started our business from scratch. We reinvent ourselves and create an identity by ourselves, even though we all coming from family that are also in the business industry. For some reason, we did not take over our family business, and our actual business, we make sure they have no relation whatsoever with the business stories of our parents. So that should be normally easy for me today. If I want to change it, I should take just one of my child on board, teach him everything I want, and get my family business becoming a legacy. But the past is showing me that is very uncommon to happen. This is uncommon here. I wanting to sure how uncommon it was everywhere. So I did what anybody will do. Open the internet, I click Google, and I asked family legacy. Now, what was my surprise to learn that Nike was a family business. It was created by Phil Knight in 1964, and his son Travis took over about 2 years ago, the one running the show now. They have a market capital of 82.2 billion, which we'll all agree is not a small business. Volkswagen, $120 billion value, was created by Ferdinand Porsche during World War II. And today, they have like 5 of his family members that are on the director boards. Samsung Electronics, this is my favorite. Samsung Electronics reached 174 billion in market capital only after Jay, the son of Lee Kun-hee, joined the company and helped his father go to the next level. Oracle, created by Ellison, 192 billion. Also, most of the stock are owned by his 2 children. And even Walmart, the giant Walmart, with 241 billion in value, was created by Sam Walton. And today, he has all his children, nephews, and I think the company is actually run by his son-in-law. So all these are family business. So it's not that uncommon. It's not uncommon, and when you look a little bit further on Google, you come and notice that about 30% of the business worldwide are family business. 30% worldwide, and about 80% in emerging countries. 80% is easily to say all of our business are family business in DRC, or should be family business. So if it's not that uncommon, why is it so difficult for us to just achieve, to pass over our business to our children, to create a legacy, and maybe to pass it over from one generation to another? To be able to find what will be the right recipe, what will be the right formula, I went back and talked to the previous generation, to our parents. Then I talked to my children friends, the next generation. And I reflect a lot on my own life. I reflect on myself to know why I did not, when I was in that situation, why I did not take over my family business, and how I could have been engaged differently to be able to continue a legacy. I came up with a 3-phase process. A 3-phase process that should be able to help all of us that have that accumulated knowledge, that have that capital, that a lifelong effort have been put in. How can we take that, what is the most important for us as business people, and pass it over to our child? So, phase 1, the learning phase, the easiest part. So you get your child on board of the company for whatever reason. If you're lucky, he finished university and he wants to join the company. If you're realistic, he fell at university and he joined the company. Now, he can also join the company just because life happened and there's so many reasons and variables for him to join the company. What I'm trying to say, why joining the company important is irrelative to the learning. So on the first 1 or 2 years, you have your child on board and is eager to learn. Is eager to learn everything you have to teach. He will learn. Then before you know it, he will start emulating yourself. He will take action that are exactly the same action that you will take if you were put in the same situation. At that moment, when behind the curtain you're looking at your child and you know he's on the right path, you know that he's taking over, you are ready to move on phase number 2. The adapting phase. Here we are more on the adjustment phase. You're going to do some adjustment here and there, going to pull up some 1 or 2 unseen tricks, thing that you did not tell him yet, but you know it. And he certainly know it better than you. He's ready. Now, what is he ready for? He's ready to move on phase number 3, the takeover phase. Now, it takes vision to move this phase. In this phase, your child is ready to take over, is ready to run the company same as you did before him. Is ready to make your company his company. Is ready to take action, is ready to take chances, to take your company to the next level, to bring your company to your dream, and even over your dream, to his dreams. And unfortunately, it's just a matter of time before the students defeat the master. You have to accept at that moment that you are going to let go. And that is the secret of phase number 3. Letting go. Knowing that you are not a partner anymore. You're just a predecessor. We are talking succession here. We are not talking joint venture. You must be able to go on the side bench and let him run the company. And if you do just that, then a legacy can be born. What you have to understand is that during the power transition, once you have decided to let go, during this power transition, the company will be able to grow to the next level. It will be able to go to the level you never reach, or it will fail. And even the failing, you have to accept it, because the chances and the risks that he's taking are the same that you took when you nearly failed just before you succeed. Once you have decided that you lose the company, once you have decided that you let the company go, then only will your child be able to take a new vision and lead the company. The usual mistake is that we take the decision, we decide, okay, we're letting go, he's going to do it. And as he's running the company and you are sitting on a second chair, you forget you are not on the side bench and you believe you're on second chair, you will repeatedly intervene to avoid mistakes that are going to ruin our company. That our company is the mistake. Because by repeatedly intervening, you will diminish the engagement your son is taking with the company. You will keep on reminding him that you are still in place. And by doing that, you are risking the business totally. You will ruin the business, even if it looks like he's failing it. And the confusion that will raise is the father and child confusion, believing that you still have that role to play. When I already mentioned it, you are just a predecessor. We're talking succession, you have to pass over that. If you fail to accept it, then I guarantee you what will happen, and I've seen it in my friends, I've seen it again and again, and I've lived it, is that slowly but surely, your child or anyone in that position will start losing interest. He will lose interest to a point where it will reach a point of no return. At that point, doesn't matter if we accept to let go or we change our mind and we see we were wrong. Your child will be ready to go and live someone else's dream. He'll be ready to go and work in a cubicle instead of having a management position in your company. So the secret to the transition, if there is a secret, will be to properly identify phase 3, to know when it's happening, to let go at the exact right moment. And then we will rather lose our business than our child, to accept deeply this notion. Decision and risk that will be taken, even if they have to ruin the company, you'll have to understand they are taken only with the greater good in mind, only with the goal of achieving a next level that you are not able to achieve, so you are not in position to judge. Remember my dog Buzz? Buzz biting Mike's fingers, for me, is exactly the generation conflict. Is the established order that forbids one business to pass from a generation to another. And Michael, chasing Buzz with his towel, Michael acting to that established order, should be asked by letting go, taking an action to bridge the generation gap that is forbidding our company to become a legacy, that is forbidding our company to go from one generation to another, and with hope to a next generation. I like Googling, I like internet, so I went on dictionary.com to find out what was the definition of legacy. Anything heading down from the past, as from a predecessor. Yeah, I skip ancestor. I think they made a mistake. I should write to them to correct that. Nobody's an ancestor, so as a predecessor. And I think this definition is just that's it. You have to understand you are heading down your company, your knowledge, your savoir-faire, and, well, you become the predecessor. To conclude, I'd like to emphasize the importance of passing the savoir-faire. What I'm calling the savoir-faire is that we have to understand that our company, even though they are a lifelong achievement, the company is not the achievement. The knowledge is. The know-how is. Your way of reacting is what you accumulated. The company is just a name, it's just the physical part, it's not what is important. If our skills, our business skills, our way of reacting, our children have made that theirs now, then I believe a legacy is in place. I believe we can talk succession. I run a company for the past 20 years. I went through the ups and downs. I went through, well, ERC, you understand what I mean. Well, we went through a lot. But what have made my company profitable for the past 20 years? It's my father's business skill, the one that he taught me after I graduated. The long days and nights that we talk, and when I watch him and I saw what he did and the little tricks that he gave me, that's what made my business profitable for so long. So I must tell him that I'm very grateful for that. I started with a personal story, so I may just end up with one. I was 19 when I joined my father business. And I remember very well, before my first solo trip, exactly the night before I flew for the first time to go and conclude that first deal alone, that I was in charge and nobody will interfere. My father came and see me and gave me a note just like this, where he wrote, "Wherever you go, whatever you do, remember who you are. You are a Sunguza." I kept that note a long time, and I was so proud of it. But I didn't really fully understand it until lately when I was preparing this TED Talk. What my father was trying to tell me that day, even if himself did not understand it, it was that I was ready for phase 3. I was ready to take over the business. I was ready to move forward. I knew it, he knew it, and there we were. Now, I must confess, I ruined that company. We went big, and big wasn't always the right move. We lost the company, but we have since then, him on his side and me on mine, created many successful business stories. And today, we are partner in one, Zongo Waterfall Resorts. We partner in that business. I know it's not the right form that a legacy should start, but I understand. You do not start a legacy only in one generation. It can take generations to start a legacy that will stay for generations to go. I will not lose hope. My name is Mali Sunguza. I'm the son of Seli Sunguza, father to Michael, Brian, and Serena, who are business people. Thank you for your time.